Hey everyone, it's James Frederick at Frederick Studio Provincetown. I am so excited to share with you my third exhibition of 2023 called Brave Optimism. These pieces represent for me the courage that we all need to find within ourselves to live in these really dark and crazy times. So it feels like there's a lot of conflict, and these pieces strive to bring light, color, and sunshine to all of our lives. So, and not just in a blind way, not just like, oh, everything will be okay, but it's really about understanding the nuances of our conflicts and bringing the light. Like, how can I show up and spread love? So I'm going to take you through these pieces one at a time, and I'm not going to give you a lot of narrative about what they meant for me. I always say that, and then I end up doing that. But anyway, I feel like abstract pieces really can speak to you through just the impression. So I used a lot of symbolism, a lot of motifs, a lot of balance of color, light and dark, to hopefully evoke from you a little bit of visual courage. So this piece is called A Space for Light, and it's big. It's 3 foot by 5 foot, so 36 by 60, and it's a statement piece for sure. I love how this piece turned out. I also just wanted to share with you that it's about the space or the pause, the moment where we have to just sometimes be quiet and let the light in. So it's called A Space for Light. And I feel like it's very helpful when you are trying to bring positivity. You'll see there's a lot of contrast in color and lights and darks, a lot of my trademark texture, but I feel like there's just a lot of compelling brightness in this piece. So this one is called A Space for Light on this. So this piece is called Reach, and it's 12 by 12. And this begins some of the language that I was talking about, the symbolism and the motifs. So reach. I love the green in this. This piece is called Radiate. And it's kind of a simple piece, but I think it's very strong. I love these little areas right here between the green and the bright orange. That lovely texture. This piece is called Courage Call, and it's really about the strength to know that you have to come. The courage call. Bring it. This piece is called Raise, and it's all about raising yourself, raising your energy, elevating your mindset. I did this piece as a series. It's actually one of a triptych that I painted as a triptych, but I felt like they were all much stronger independently. So I've separated out the triptych. You'll see some of the other pieces coming up. But this one is 16 by 16 and it's called Raise. And again, the saturation of color is pretty intense. And I love the reds into the kind of like pinky orange, and then the orange and the warm orange. So Raise. This piece is called Upshoot. And it's 12 by 12. And yeah, filled with symbolism for sure. But I love the balance though too of light and dark and warm and cool. upshoot. This piece is called Filling Up. And it's as complex as the previous one as far as symbolism goes, but in a simple way, I was thinking a lot about the idea of half full versus half empty. So filling up. Here's another one of the pieces that are part of the triptych. This is called Elevate. So it's 16 by 16. And it has the same like saturation, but there is a different relationship of these shapes. And you'll see that these pieces are all similar but very different, and it's about the arrangement of these objects and what it takes to navigate a solution. So it's called Elevate. And this piece is called Velvet Cruise. And I actually just used it here as a bit of connection and visual relief from some of the hotter, warmer pieces. But I feel like this piece has such a relationship to the triptych, especially when you see some of these greens coming in. And that's because of the warm kind of interacting with the cool. And you can see the relationship here as this piece starts to speak that same visual language. This piece is called Uplift. And this was the piece I used to promote the show. And I feel like there's definitely a upward gesture to this piece. And it speaks a lot in color to the surrendering of the dark to the light. And now I have three smaller pieces. It's a bit of a series, but they're all independent paintings. They're 8 by 8, and they're all about the light. So they're called Sparkle On, Be Bright, and Effervesce. And it's really about having that kind of genuine sparkle, you know, bringing the brightness to every situation. And I used some iridescent paint on these pieces, and you'll see it primarily around the area that the breakthrough of light is happening. So I'm not sure if it reads real well in this lighting. But I love how these turned out. I love the accent color of the breakthrough thought. So those are all smaller pieces, 8 by 8. And then I have this large piece, which I really love. It's 3 foot by 3 foot, and it's called Breakthrough. And it's really about the struggle between the light and the dark. So you'll see a lot more dark in this piece, but it's about that moment when we make sense of all of the pieces and shrug off some of the dark and have a breakthrough. The balance of color in this particular, I love the motion, the movement. So, and there's a lot of that great texture happening as well, which you'll see as I bring the camera closer. So yeah, this one's called Breakthrough. And then I have another small piece that I've included with this collection, and it's called Lipstick On. And it wasn't originally painted with these pieces, but I feel like it relates a lot. And I've used it actually as an early tool to market this show, because I thought it represented the brightness that we need to bring. And even just the idea of it, like, you know, when things are rough, you just put on your lipstick and go. So lipstick on. So that is Brave Optimism. Thank you so much for joining. I had such a blast working on these pieces, and I feel really uplifted just sharing them. So I hope that you glean from them kind of the feeling and the emotion that I had as I worked on them. If you want more information about any of these pieces, you can just click the link in this description and it'll take you directly to my online store. I wanted to remind you that in August, on August 4th, I will be showing my next body of work, and it's called Road Trip. And it's a lot of different paintings that I did based on a trip that I took to the Midwest, which is where my roots are. Actually drove from Massachusetts to Michigan, which was quite a ride. But the scenery is so amazing. So a lot of pastoral landscapes, but yet with a twist. So tune in for those. And anytime, you can always check out my work on my website, frederickstudioprovincetown.com.